Hey everyone, hello and welcome. Um, it's Monday, a new week. Ooh, sorry. A new week, a new room, a new floor. Yes, a new floor for us as well. It's very exciting. Um, I've been trying to put the walls in, but they keep falling on me because I refuse to stick them down. That's just because, I am a bit of a coward with sticking things down. So, hey, Ilkana. Yes, so I'm saying hi while organizing the walls in the parlor where we'll start working today. Um, they'll just stand haphazardly and all will be well. Yes. So I hope you're all having a good week. A good day, a good beginning of the new week. It's I've just realized as well, 5 minutes ago that it's the final week of the dailies, which is kind of shocking. Because it also means that it's the last week of October, which is insane. Yeah, time, it runs. Um, taking the milestone as an opportunity to say thank you again, everyone, if for joining me and saying hi to all the new folks that joined the channel. And I really appreciate that you're here, you're joining. It's so much fun to have you. And yeah, so yesterday we did the little dumbwaiter doors, and there is still a lot to do in the kitchen, and we will go back to it every now and then. But I figured, yeah, also last week, let's do something new a bit. So we have our parlor. This wall is standing a bit weird, but basically, yeah, it's a very red room. I really like this color. So I'm just moving it around in hopes that you can see better. I do think that, yeah, you can probably see a little better from this angle. It feels, right? Yes. So it has um, it has its lovely chevron, I believe it's called, this pattern, chevron or herringbone pattern. You can make the wall stay. And yeah, I could also probably use like there's removable double-sided tape that I could use, but eh. I don't know. Yeah, it's the lighting. It's also, I think that this light is here is making it look a bit yellow. It's a very nice, if I'll bring it to the camera. Yeah, that's more the right color. It's a little shiny. You can see also that it has this nice kind of texture. So it's a little shiny and it's more of a wine red. It's very nice. At least I think it's very nice. I would like my parlor to be in this color. It's cool. Um, Thanks, Peggy. Hey. Um, yep. So yes, that's the. I think, yeah. So in these ones also, I've this one maybe doesn't show it so much. Where is the little one? Yeah, I think it was this one. I have some of the destruction, trying to catch it. Yeah, maybe like this. You can see that it can be damaged, but it can also feel like, oh wait, is that scratches? Ooh, that's fun. Yeah. So today we're going to start furnishing the parlor. Um, And there is a lot to do because, well, parlors are, it's like the ancestor of the modern living room. And it was used to both sit around with your family and also to have guests and stuff on. And one of the fun things about a parlor, like Victorian parlors, and I'm assuming that it's partly just because the rooms tended to be bigger than what is now the common size of rooms, is that the way that it was often designed is that there were actually almost little areas within the room. So you would have like a little sitting area, say with a sofa or a couch next to the fireplace, and you would have a little table at the side that would be maybe for playing cards, and some chairs next to the wall on the other side if two people want to sit down and chat between them quietly. So you'd have almost like a way that that it was planned sort of for a party where people can kind of move around, and sit down and chat in little groups and things like that. So you'd almost have like, yeah, really like little areas within the room that you could that have similar, well, it would all be in the same room, so it would all be kind of the same feel in a way, but definitely a mixture of different styles of furniture and stuff. Also, um, very much, whether you like it or not, it depends on your taste, of course. But Victorian era, generally speaking, had a lot of a tendency to have excess, show a lot of excess, and a lot of combination of different patterns together, different colors together. It did change. It would be different between different houses also, money, because of money, and because of course, the taste of the owners. And we'll play around with that. I have the an idea of like trying to make a teeny tiny pianoforte sort of thing to have probably on one of these walls here. That would also be very much commonly seen in a parlor. Hey, Moika. So yeah, so there's a lot of tiny details that go in a parlor. They tended to be very busy rooms as far as decor goes. Like almost um, every, like every inch of the wall would be covered pretty much, which I'm not sure I want to do because I like the wallpaper. But Oop, oh dear. But yeah, all these like details like curtains and pictures and so much. I did start working on a fireplace. I did it off camera because it's basically the same pattern I used before. I did change the design a bit just to make it, just for interest. So basically, I made a much simpler kind of design to the mantle for the back. It's also a little smaller, even smaller than the one that I did for the, actually a lot smaller now that I look at it. Look at that. Ooh. So this is for the Great Hall. It's kind of a big, fancy beast. And this one, okay, it will have still more decorations, of course, because details are everything, but it's definitely a lot more humble and simpler and doesn't like overcome the room. In partly because I knew that, the Great Hall was a place where you wouldn't necessarily have a lot of little items around, and the parlor definitely is. So just, this is sort of like the probably one of the biggest decorative pieces of the room. And in the parlor, actually, the fireplace and the mantle is more of a shelf for other items, for other decorative items that will come at some point. So yeah, so we might do some coloring of the fireplace if we'll have time, if we have a break between sofa making. But for now, I'm gonna put the room aside and bring in the little sofa pieces. And for this sofa, I am again using a pattern that was designed by Ala from Bentley House Minis. I've put in the description the link to her original video. And I wanted to show you. She is it's she's also sharing the pattern for free, and she allowed me to show how I'm using it in my lives. So if you go to her channel to that video, you will find this pattern that you can download. And her original pattern is for a 12 scale. So I think if I got it right, like the couch that she made, it's I don't know, 5.5, 6 inches size, and mine is needs to be around like 2.5 centimeters, so about an inch, a little bit less than an inch. So that's very much reduced, which means also that there are certain bits that I will have to change in how it was made. I'm also obviously using a different material. I will also add that the pattern she originally made, it's part of a project where she builds everything from cardboard, basically, which is really cool. So it's really just kind of household items, any that you would have lying around. I think that the original idea was that she did it. She started the project during the height of the pandemic, and like, everybody's ordering stuff from Amazon. You've got a ton of boxes. Might as well do something with them. And yeah, making fairy houses and cool furniture is definitely an awesome thing to do with cardboard. So thank you again, Ala, for letting me do this. And let's move to the couch and start working on it. So I am using basically a just cardstock, like thick cardstock. It's the craft cardstock from Ranger, the one that is on the distress line. So it's nice and thick, and for this size of items, it's generally big enough. I am actually going to do so I'll just the original pattern has several parts. I'm actually only using the base and the back, basically, because I feel like I'll just show it again. I don't know if I can point on it. Like, if I'm moving my mouse here, can you see it? I wonder. But you might see anyway in the what's marked page 1 at the top, there's little two pieces that have these little the legs basically of the sofa, and reducing it to because I'm working in a much reduced size, it just becomes super flimsy or super tiny. Yeah, I was afraid of that. Next time I'll make circles or something. But yeah, so basically, to cut the legs from the cardboard in this size can be a bit problematic. I think that it would actually be easier to just use wire or beads or something like that, or toothpicks, which have become quite prevalent in this house. So we'll see about that exactly. But I am using the basic design of the couch. And what I'm doing now is just I'm taking the base, that's the seat base of the couch, and I just want that part to be doubled. Yeah, just do double thickness, both for strengthening it and also because sofas can be quite massive. They can be pretty chunky. So I just felt like at least the seat should have a bit more thickness to it, just more presence. And it just, if you want to have two pieces the same size, often the easiest way is simply to cut one, then glue the other on the same type of cardstock and cut around it. And that's exactly what I'm doing now. So yay. Now, yep. So this gives us a bit more thickness. I think needs to be a bit straighter. Yeah, this will give us like a bit more of a thickness to the bottom of the couch. And one of the fun things about building things from cardstock is that you don't need to work too hard on I can just fold it around, because this basically needs to go around this base, and you don't need to work too hard for it. It doesn't break to yeah, you can just round it and it will go perfectly around. So I'm just gonna using this marker, can be any round thing, to round this area a bit, so it will be easier for me to just place it down and glue it around this space. And yeah, so it will be something like this. It'll be a bit hard maybe to see, but we'll work it out. Let's bring out the heavy gel and start gluing. Okay. So just putting a nice amount of glue here right on the edge. Yeah, quite much as usual, but I'll remove it a bit later. Oof, I'll remove the excess at least. Now I'll try to do it so you can see what I'm doing, but basically I'm just taking this part and bringing it to this back cardboard. It needs to sit right on the edge, and I will then just very gently curve the sides and glue it down. It might be actually easier to glue one side and then the other, but we'll see how it goes. Oh no, stop moving. Yeah. Okay. There is glue everywhere, but we'll clean it in a bit and all will be well. Okay, yeah. I see that it's actually easier if I just let it sit for a second and catch. And I just want to see if it's I'm not entirely sure it's completely centered, but I guess it's centered enough. Okay. Nope. Yeah. Okay, so it would be easier to just leave it for a second, I think, and then get back to it for the gluing the rest. I'm going to add a little bit of blue right here, right on the seam. And just let it sit for a second. So it starts to really catch. Yep. Not entirely sure that it's very like that I've centered it accurately, but I think it's going to be good enough. Let's hope I'm right. Okay. So while this is drying a little bit, let's talk about the upholstery, because basically the idea is that these two pieces are actually going to be, I'll just hold it with the tweezers so you can actually see. This is, you can see, maybe, I hope, it's basically the same shape as the sit, but it's a bit smaller. And the idea is that this will serve as a base to build a little pillow that is the bottom of the couch. And at the moment, I'm thinking like a nice red couch, basically. And so, one of the tricky things with miniatures is scale, and especially when you're talking about very small scales like this, fabric starts to be a little bit tricky um, because the weaving of the fabric can be very obviously out of scale. So one of the things that tends to work is actually satin, because it has very fine weaving, even, and it would work even for the scale we're working on. It'll just be it would, like this one, for example, it's a fairly thick weave, I guess it's called, for satin, and it's almost like it would almost look like barricade on the size of the couch we're making, but barricade is fine for us. So that's one of the options. As you can see, yeah, it's a ribbon. One of the benefits of working in a size like this, that, yeah, that is a good size for this, because it's a tiny size. The other option that I have is this ribbon. Yes, it has organza on the sides, but just ignore it. It's just a slightly brighter red, and I think that this the satin itself is the weave is a little bit more delicate, so it might be a bit more, might fit nice. Hey, Christiana. Hello. We're discussing upholstery for the couch. Now, another option is not to use fabric, but to use something like this washi tape. And that will give us some pattern, which I do think that even for our tiny room, I think this would still work in scale. Um, but yeah, it's a very different feel. I'm not sure if that would fit a couch, or we should go with more like the red satin things. So let me know what you think. I will check if we can continue gently with gluing this couch. I think we can. Okay, so I'll add glue to the sides, and then I will have to hold it in place. Oh no, it keeps moving. Yeah. So see, this is the kind of pattern that on one hand, it's super fun to talk to you and have you here with me, but let's be honest, I'm going to spend probably a couple of minutes just holding it in place. So I hope I'm not gonna bore you with that. Ooh. Yeah, red satin is really nice. And I do think that it's surprisingly doesn't clash with the walls of the room. I'll bring one of the walls in a second because we do need to think of that, don't we? So even though the room's walls, like the wallpaper that we put, is also red and a different red, I do feel like it actually works with the satin. Okay. Now this needs to be held. Let me see. I do want to clean up the glue a little bit. You can see there's a big kind of, I hope you can see. Come on, focus on the right thing. Thank you. You can kind of clean up the glue a little bit. There we go. And yeah, so now will be the part where I try to hold it with one hand while I'm showing you things with the other. So we have, it's basically two types. I don't know if you can actually see the difference so much, but this one is a teeny bit darker. Um, and let's bring one of the walls. Let's just get this one. Okay, I'm gonna reduce this light again so the colors are actually more accurate. Um, but yeah, so yeah, these are the satins. I don't. It looks exactly the same, doesn't it? It looks like it's the same red ribbon, basically. But actually, yeah. So this one is a little bit darker than this one. Um, but it is a very delicate difference. Where's the stick? And I do think that it can be nice. Oh, yeah, there is one more option of using felt. The nice thing about felt is that it doesn't have too much, it doesn't really have a weave, right? So, yes, it has texture, but it can work quite well for scales. And I do have this nice wine red. It's almost, which one was it? Crimson? Like, I don't know, it almost has like a purplish tone. So, yeah, this one. I mean, the organza ribbon, I will not use the organza. I will only use the satin in the middle, just to be clear. But yeah, um, yeah, still waiting for it to dry a bit. Although I do think it's catching nicely. You can see we have this little seat. I'm gonna hold it for a little bit longer just to be sure. And yeah. Do you think that, as much as I would like to have um, patterns in the upholstery for the furniture here, because that is something that, oh, okay, red is too bright. It might not work too well with the walls. Yeah, that is true, I suppose. Although It does seem to work from some reason. But yeah, I do think that the darker red probably works better. And I do think that even though it's not a very wide ribbon, I think it's wide enough for what we need because we have a tiny little couch. Tiny little couch. So I think it would work. And yeah, we can go with that. The felt, the only thing I'm actually worried that it might be a little too thick to play with. But let's see. In a way, it's going to be, we're going to have to play a bit with it and see exactly how it works. I never really did upholstery before. So, you learn something new every day, and we are experimenting here. So, for this, what I would like to do is, let me see, maybe, it might be a little narrow. It might be a little bit narrow because I do want to have it a little plush. Plush, would that be the word? Like basically to have like the feel that there's a pillow. So let's see. If we do, I'm trying to just kind of bring it to the camera. What do you say? Is that weird? Or will it work? I do feel like it would work. It's a bit bright, but it's going to be very small because most of the couch is actually, it's going to be again browns. And just a little bit of upholstery. And again, let's try this one too. This one is almost in real light. I'm trying to catch a way that it's real light. It's almost exactly the same. It feels like it's the same as the wall, just that the wall is less saturated, which I'm never sure if it's a good thing or not. Okay, let's try and work with the satin and see if it goes well. And if not, then we'll change it. Because I do like the shine of the satin. So I am going to use this one because it's a little wider and I think that I need this width for this. If I feel afterwards, one of the beautiful things about doing it as a pillow on the couch is that I can just not, I mean, I will glue it in the end to kind of keep it in place, obviously, to secure it. But for the time being, I can basically say, no, let's not glue it down. And then I can just say, okay, you know what? I don't like this color, switch. Just redo it with something else. It's more, it's better than just doing it straight into the seat and then it's done. You cannot do anything anymore. Okay, so let's just cut a little piece of this. And what I'm going to do is I have my little candle here, like I did when we did the stairs, I believe it was. And I'm going to I'm cutting out the organza part, and then I'm going to just, use the flame to melt the edge so it's not, so it doesn't fry. Oh dear. Okay, wait. Huh. The only matches I have here are the giant ones. Could probably just use the match then. Just a sec. Let me cut this side as well. Try and do it on camera. Oh, See, exactly what we were trying to prevent, dear. That's fine. Just very from afar, really. You just move the flame close enough, and you can see it basically melts the edges and secures it so it doesn't fry anymore. You do need to be a bit careful because, oh no, that is the worst. Oh well. See this part? Legs for furniture. We'll just put it aside and apparently use another one. And this time I will light up the candle because this will stay if I need it for a bit later. For now, yeah, just finishing it very carefully. It is open flame, so just need to be a bit careful. But yeah, so far so good. Done. Okay. So yeah, so I will leave the candle here to the side in case I need it. But for now, we have this little piece of satin that I can work with. And I'm just going to use some, I am going to chop it off in a bit again. And yeah, just to be sure. Yeah. Okay. I might actually cut it a bit more to the shape of the seat with a lot of excess, just so it's a bit easier to fold around. And yeah, we'll just use the candle flame to make sure that it doesn't fry. This candle is a bit... The flame is going a little bit overboard right there, but oh well. All's good so far. Alrighty. Let's bring in some glue. I'm going to move the candle to the other side. Bring in some glue. And gently, oh, you know what? First, just a sec. Okay. I'm just going to, just want to decide to grab some leftovers of felt that I have that I'm going to basically glue on top of the little seat. Would that be enough here? Yep. Just to create a little cushiony thingy. So let's see. Just kind of holding it in place to get a feel of the size that I need. It doesn't have to be perfect at all. The sole purpose of it is really to just give the center a bit of a lift. And that's it. Now I'm going to use the gel medium again, just because in this case also um, because it's fabric, and fabric tends to be sometimes tricky with glues. So, you know. Hey, Anthony, how are you today? I'm building a tiny sofa. At the moment, we are covering the seat and hoping that the red satin I chose would actually work with the walls. Just filling you in. Hey, Penny. Hello. Okay. So I've put some glue on the bottom. Yep, glued that. And now we're just going to take it all there. Now we're just gonna let it dry for a second. Yes. We have moved to the parlor. It's very exciting. So, okay, I'm gonna need to let this dry for a little bit, just to be sure that it stay puts when I fold it over. And in the meanwhile, by the way, we can take a look at our little seat, because that's pretty much ready, the seat. Ooh. And you can see there's a bit of excess here, so I'm gonna cut it off to make sure that it's even with the edge. Ooh. Dropping like that, it's not very nice. Here, I think no, it's good. Now, to give the sides of the sofa a bit of a kind of wider, this curvy round handsets. No, I don't know. I'm going to use one of those loyal toothpicks of mine and just glue the tip. Basically, I'll cut the tip and glue it like this. So I'm going to just mark it with my pencil where I want to cut it. This is the length. It's just useful to have the point, the tip at this point, because it gives this natural curve. If you look at the original pattern, by the way, you will see that she uses actually cardstock that she rolls over to create the armchair hands to the side. How thick is this card? I believe this is 300 GCM, if I remember correctly. I don't have the package here for some reason. It's the Ranger Distress Craft cardstock. I believe it's 300 GCM. For the bottom base for the seat, I used a double layer just for extra strength, but everything else, this is strong enough. And it works well for the scale, so that's another point. Okay, so I'm just cutting the same length from the toothpick on the other side. And then we'll glue them down. My pleasure. Okay. Just putting glue. And we'll add these little guys here at the sides. No, it seems too long. Well, I can always chop off some more of the edge afterwards if needed. But for now, seems to be like a good size. Uh, Yeah, I'll definitely need to chop off the edge afterwards, but it's better to let the glue dry first and then you can mess around with things like that. But yeah, but you can see from this angle that it's a pretty good size from the arm seat. I think that's how it's called. You're going to have lights in the finished house. I am going to have lights. I have not done a live with them yet because I still need to figure out exactly how I'm going to do it. I talked about it a little bit, but I don't think it was a specific live yet. Um, the thing is that because the idea is that it's a haunted and abandoned house, I don't really want the lights to come from, um, well, lamps and stuff like that. I want the light to be just weird, eerie, um, so coming from, well, sometimes it might come from just a fireplace, but or the oven. I might use some flickering lights, yes, but also, because I want to kind of play with the colors of the light, and I don't know if I can get flickering lights that are like, the chain LED lights that you can just colorize whatever you want, because yeah, with alcohol inks or things like that. So I'm not sure if because at the moment, because this is such a small sized project, I think that I can actually use just one wire of one, yeah, just one set of the of LED lights, the little fair lights, to light the whole thing. And I don't know that I can have flickering lights of this type. The only flickering lights that I know are the ones that are tea light candles. Yeah, with alcohol markers or just drops of alcohol ink. But I haven't seen the only. Yeah, I don't know if you do know if there's uh not tea light. Yeah, the fairy light. I think the fairy lights it's called, right? The ones that are like strings or the same like Tim Holtz's tiny lights. I don't think I've seen flickering ones of those. If anyone knows otherwise, do tell. Yeah. Okay. Step two. It's getting there slowly. Sometimes like every time I start dealing with fabric, I often say, yeah, I'll use glue, it'll be faster. And then I'm actually not sure. It might have actually been faster if I just sawed it down. We'll see. Um, Thanks, Anthony. I appreciate that. Yeah. Although I guess the fact that it's not catching is also because I keep touching it. What I really should do is take these lovely tweezers and put them down, grab it, and let that sit for a bit. And now we can talk feet. So there are two main options that I was thinking about for feet. Either use toothpicks again to just, cut little, um, little pieces and make feet. It will be like straight ones, or use wire and do them a little bit more fancy. So, as you know me, of course, we're going to first start and try a little bit more fancy. So let's see wires. Um, just finding a good gouge. I think this would work. Maybe it's a bit thick. This is an 18 gouge. Let's see. I feel like that would be a good one. Let's chop a piece and play with it and see how it works. So we are, yeah. It always takes so much longer than I expect, but well, yeah. I was also just fiddling with the glue a lot. So I just cut a piece, and if we're gonna use wire, then of course we'll also. Hey Terry! It makes sense that we'll also just play with just give it some rounded angles. Let's see. I think that's definitely. I'm making a couch, and I am currently trying to figure out legs. This is a way bigger leg than, I mean, taller, longer leg than it should be. I like having the angles, but woo, that's a big leg. Yeah. Maybe like the. Oh, where'd you go? Oh, come now, wire. How are you, Terry? Yeah, maybe just a teensy bit like that. Let's see. I'll just straighten the wire a little bit. And oh. Let's see. Right. No. I'll just take the smallest circumstance. The small circle. Let's just go with circle. And use that to do some rounding here. I'll have to cut it pretty much in the middle. Something like that. Let's see how that fits with our little couch. I think that would be a good length. And I kind of like them maybe sticking out a bit. Let's see if I can show you. Yeah, maybe like this, I don't know if you can actually see what I'm doing. Yeah. Tiny, tiny bits. No, this isn't florist. This is artistic wire. This is meant for wire working, basically. So yeah, and it's copper core, but colored black. I just used the black because I don't know. It's the first one I grabbed. It's an 18 gouge one. Yeah, it's nice wire. It has a good balance between how like strong it is and how Yeah. So you can work it easy enough, but it still keeps shape. That's what I'm trying to say. So yeah, it's good. And I'm just gonna use that to make a few, to make the leggies. Maybe I should bring the white paper again. For some of the things that I do, it actually works. It's easier to see when I'm working on the black media matte, but I feel like maybe with this it would be easier to see with some white paper. I'll put this light up again just a bit. And yeah, wire. That is not that. Okay. I have lost one of the pieces, but that's okay. I'll make another one. Meanwhile, we can also check on our little cushion. So that's glued. Now we need to, I'll need to kind of carefully fold these parts and around the base. I think I'll, well, as usual, I will finish things off camera. This is the kind of process that, yeah, probably it would actually be faster to saw it down. But so I might do that. I don't know. But it's easier sometimes to glue it with these sizes. So, but when you glue it, you kind of have to wait from between fold, one fold to the other to see how it goes. And as much as I like satin, like the look of satin, it can be a tricky material to work with because it does fall apart in your hands. So you need to be very patient with it. And we are nearly out of time. So I am hoping that we will just finish the maybe adding the legs, and that would be basically the base of the couch. And then it will be, I think, yeah, basically, I will leave it up to you whether you want me to continue with the couch tomorrow and finish it on camera, or you prefer that I will move on to something else. There is much to do in the parlor, many options. So, yes, let me know what you feel like. Um, we can do, I don't know, tiny tables, tiny cabinets, tiny many things. And yeah, I think more. I'm basically doing it almost half circles and apparently off camera. Great. Yeah, a bit longer. And we have 4 leggies. This one is a bit big. And I have tried to make them the same size, and we'll get it right when it's glued, I think. Oh no, did I cut it too much? No, I think it's okay. Okay. Let us try and glue them down. And hopefully it will work out. So I'm just gonna put a nice little blob of glue. Yeah, okay. I blew out the candle and it's all smoky all of a sudden. But yeah. So we'll have two right here and two more to the back. Okay. And this is the kind of thing that definitely requires tweezers. I am very fond of these tweezers specifically because they have a very delicate, sharp little tip. They are from Tonic Studios. Yep, from their Nouveau line. And I like them very much. But I also have several other tweezers that I work with. Okay, pushing it into the glue, and I'm trying to look from the side to see that they're pretty much the same angle, pretty much the same height. If it's not entirely, ooh, that just took off with the glue. If it's not entirely perfect, I can always claim that, well, it's an old couch and it's in a haunted house, and what do you want? But we're trying to do it balanced. Okay. Pull it out a bit more. I think that's good. Hey, okay. We'll get back to you. Let's do the other two. And this ones I'm going to a bit more. I wanted them to be a bit more flat with the back. I don't want them to stick out too much because I want to be able to put the couch pretty much on the wall. So yeah. That's what we're going for. Oh dear. I think that's okay. Hey, don't do that. Okay. Seems okay for now. What I would usually do in this case is actually leave it for a bit, let it dry, not completely, but dry a little bit, and then, stand it down and make sure that it's actually balanced. If I'll try to push it down or like stand it down at the moment and that I've put it, then it's too flimsy and it will kind of, the legs will just fall off. But if you let the glue dry a little bit, then it's stable enough to not fall apart, but it will often allow you to kind of push the leg a little bit, so they're all balanced and in the same height. But generally, it looks pretty good, I guess. I hope so. Um, yeah. So this is basically the couch. Of course, there is much more to finish it. The upholstery is not ready, and we need to color it, and all the details that still need to be done. So, as I mentioned, yeah, we can either continue with it tomorrow, or I'll finish it off camera and we'll do something else tomorrow. Um, you can let me know what you prefer. And yeah, I will. I need to stop fiddling with it because every time I will fiddle with it, the leg will fall off. This is the rule. So, this is the point when we put this to the side to dry a bit and come back to it later. And it's also the point where I say a huge thank you to you all for joining me today. And if you have any last minute ideas of what you would like to see tomorrow, let me know. If you have ideas later, let me know in the comments. And yeah, have a wonderful rest of the day, evening, whatever you have left of it. And I will see you tomorrow with some more parlor stuff. We'll see what exactly we'll do. Thank you so much, and have a good night. Bye for now.